How about you? You like a boy band? No? Because you are in a boy band. Mine was obviously I like Backstreet Boys. Right? And then there's a Boyzone. Jadi suka apa? Boyzone. Okay. How about the girl groups?
Blackpink.
Oh, okay. Nowadays they have all this, Spice Girls. Yeah. I did not listen too much of the girl group, like the boys band, all Backstreet Boys, Westlife, and all of these guys. And now we have a lot from obviously from Korea, yeah. All the K-pop, and I always look at them, and I'm thinking, wow, we also if you pay attention to all the boy bands in the U.S. or I mean back in the 90s or right now, you pay attention that everyone seems so handsome. Everyone looks so good. Yeah, nggak sih? Semuanya ganteng gitu. Everyone looks so good. They are so tall, and all the girl groups as well. They're all so beautiful, so skinny, right? Everybody looks nice until you separate them one by one. And then you'll see that, kok biasa aja ya. And then you'll see, it's not okay. See, he's handsome, but not so much. But when you get them together, wow, shining like the brand new star. Right? Like, have you ever noticed that? Like when they're all together, wow, so handsome. But when they're just one by one, just my neighbor, my driver, or something like that. That's what's called in psychology some sort of a group effect. When you're together, you look good together because everyone can because one's handsomeness, is that a word? I mean one's attractiveness can somehow transfer to you. Those you are not less attractive, right? You got so that in one group you get everyone looks similar, everyone looks similarly. I mean, everyone looks attractive. It's kind of interesting when you think about that. And I've heard this also spoken about couples, right? When they've married for so long, they say look even the same. Is it true? They look the same. And that makes me wonder if it's true that the more that we spend time with people that we love, the more that we spend time with people that love us, the more we look like them. Semakin kita menghabiskan waktu dengan orang yang kita cintai, dan orang yang mencintai kita semakin seperti dia. Semakin seperti dia. It's like a transfer of knowledge, of values, of even of your physical, appearance somehow. And this is the thing. If it's true for people, when we walk with people, how about when we walk with Jesus? We have, for many of you, or I think maybe for all of you, we have walked with Jesus for many, many years. We should look like Him more and more, right? Yeah, because that's the thing with walking with people who loves us and who we love. But then if we don't look like Him, then there must be something missing. Because believing in Jesus means that as we walk with Him over the years, we begin to look like Him. Not He look like us. And that's the beauty of the gospel. The more we walk with Him, the more we look like Him. That, church, is the theme for this year at Reform Exodus Community. We want to focus on discipleship. But in your jemaat, warta jemaat, if you take one, itu tulisannya discipleship. Just a word. There's a book actually called with that title, discipleship. Our focus this year is to be serious about walking with Jesus, to be serious in being His disciples, and one of the key indicators, because obviously when we talk about being a disciple, that's all we do, right? One of the key indicators that we want to see from this year is rising up new leaders. Because that's the point. Being a disciple, you disciple people as well. There'll be new leaders. And that's what we want to do. And for that, we want to go back to the basic text. We want to go back. Kita kembali ke teks yang cerita di Alkitab yang sangat sangat fundamental. Semua orang pada tahu. Let's open our Bible at Matthew chapter 4, verse 18 to verse 22. Matthew 4, 18 to 22. As we think about what does it mean to look like Him and the importance of discipleship. Matthew chapter 4, verse 18 until verse 22. Let me read for you. Jesus calls the first disciples. While walking by the Sea of Galilee, he saw two brothers, Simon, who is called Peter, and Andrew, his brother, casting a net into the sea, for they were fishermen. And he said to them, "Follow me, and I will make you fishers of men." Immediately they left their nets and followed him. And going on from there, he saw two other brothers, James, the son of Zebedee, and John, his brother, in the boat with Zebedee, their father, mending their nets. And he called them. Immediately they left the boat and their father and followed him. Amen. Now, first question that came to mind about this story. Kok mau ya? How come they just simply accept, yes, Lord, I want to go, right? I mean, imagine in today's modern, scenario, you are probably working in your office, and then suddenly comes along a famous teacher, and they'll say, "Hey, you, quit your job, follow me." Okay. It doesn't make sense, right? It's not like Jesus saying, "Come and follow me, I'll give you 10 million rupiah." Come and follow me, I'll make you the governor. No. Right? Jesus did not promise anything. Jesus did not say, "I'm going to give you something if you follow me," right? There's no cash back. Jesus is not some OFO or GoPay. I mean, there's nothing in return, right? And nowadays, when someone offers us anything, we are so careful. Whoa! If something is too good to be true, what do? There must be something wrong with it, ya kan? Kalau ada sesuatu yang wah ini kok terlalu, mosok sih, nggak mungkin, gitu kan? Wah, kita hati-hati, no. Saya takut. Let me ask around first, right? But no, what happened? Immediately, they left the nets. Immediately. And for the case of James and John, he's their dad. Sorry, Dad, bye-bye, right? Is the text teaching us that faith is about blind leap? That just simply follow Jesus? No. Okay? Two clues about their reactions. Number one, church, what happened in Matthew 4 is not their first meeting with Jesus. Okay? So this episode in the Sea of Galilee is not the first time they saw Jesus. They saw Jesus, actually, if you cross-check with the book of John, it goes back in John chapter 1. Okay? They saw Jesus, and then Jesus invited them, "Hey, you want to talk with me?" Or something, you come and see, right? Let's hang out, basically. So at that time, it was, "Come and you will see." He was speaking to Andrew and to Simon Peter. Okay, if I'm not mistaken, but definitely Andrew. Okay, Andreas. Andreas di belakang aja. Yeah. So the first disciple, Andrew, right? So they hang out with Jesus for a day. They hang out with Jesus, right? At that time, Jesus did not say, "Come and follow me." Ya. Jadi pada waktu itu Yesus belum bilang, "Mari ikutlah aku." Yesus cuma ngopi sama mereka. Okay? He just took some, go to a cafe, the Nazareth coffee shop, whatever, right? And they talked. By the end of that meeting, this is what Andrew said, right? He said, "We have found the Messiah." So it's a happy ending. Basically what happens is they saw, they heard, and they experienced something extraordinary from Jesus. So when Jesus came to the Sea of Galilee, they would say, "Wow, hey! That's the dude, that's the Messiah," you see. He was so cool, he was so great, he's the Lamb that was slain. John the Baptist said. Did you see? Excitement. That's why they left immediately to follow him. And so the first lesson today that we need to capture is this. You know, when was the last time you feel you are amazed by Jesus? I mean, when was the last time you said, "Wow," you know, "Wow, God is good, God is great, Jesus is amazing, Jesus is kind," so on and so forth. Kapan sih terakhir kali kita terpukau, terkesima, tersanjung dengan Yesus? Finally, something in Indonesia that sounds good, right? Tersanjung, terpesona. When was the last time you said, "Wow, wow, the gospel is radical, the gospel is dangerous, the gospel is beautiful, the gospel is indescribable, it's nothing like this"? We say we have Alexander the Great, we have Napoleon the Great, but you cannot say Jesus the Great. No, Jesus is the only one. Cannot compare, okay? Why is this important? Important because for many of you, maybe, I don't know, I'm just guessing here. For many of you are been raised in a Christian family, the gospel is not unfamiliar, right? Oh, I've heard of this before, right? Jesus, good. Gospel, awesome. Forgiveness of sins, I need that. That's it. Maybe a lack of amazement, a lack of enchantment, you know. It's just biasa, it's just ordinary, because we've heard it many, many times. My point, church, is simply this. If you have never stopped and looked at the gospel and found it ridiculous or impossible or beautiful or dangerous, I don't think you have really understood it. Kalau Bapak Ibu belum pernah berdiam dan melihat kepada Injil dan menemukan Injil itu luar biasa, indah, menakutkan, radikal, berarti mungkin Bapak Ibu belum benar-benar mengerti Injil itu apa. Because that sense of amazement is necessary for the call of the discipleship. That second clue, that's the first clue. Oh, they met Jesus. Wow, this is an amazing figure. I want to follow him. The second clue is this. The second clue is cultural. It has to do with Jewish education at that time. Let me give you a story. And it's a very simple one. So, back in Jesus' day, when you go to school, children will begin to go to school by the age of 5 or 6 years old. Anak-anak ke sekolah, umur 5 umur 6. They'll go to what's called the Beth Shepherd. Okay, the house of book. Here, boys and girls, they go to the synagogue, okay, and they'll learn, mainly they will read, write, and memorize the 5 books of Moses, okay, Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers. I know it, I'm sorry. Just testing. Deuteronomy, Numbers, there. And by the age of 10, many students would know the Torah, the 5 books, by memory. Okay? Umur 10 tahun, hafal 5 buku kitab Musa. Luar biasa, ya? And then, after graduation, this is like the primary school. I mean, imagine that. So, 5, 6 years old, it's not too late to learn the Bible. Okay? Now, 5 years. That means age 10. Itu kelas berapa itu? Grade 5, grade 6-ish, right? And then, most girls will go back home to help taking care of the house. Okay, you know, learn with their mothers, their aunties, their grandmothers to basically prepare to be a wife. Because at the time, most girls, they can marry up to, as early as 14, 15, 16. You know, Mary, the mother of Jesus, was reportedly about 15 years old girl. 14 or 15, something like that. While the boys, they'll probably learn to family trade. Jadi yang perempuan belajar masak, jahit gitu ya. Yang laki-laki belajar kerja. Follow the boys, they'll learn with their dads. Whatever it is. That's why Jesus was a tecton, a tradesman, yeah, carpenter, because Joseph was one. Now, while learning the trade, usually most of the boys, the best students, they can go up, they can graduate or they can apply, and they can go to the next one, which is the Beth Talmud, okay, house of learning. Here, from age 10 to 13, 12 or 13, they'll learn the rest of the Old Script, the rest of the Old Testament, right? The rest of the books, the prophets, the writings, and all of that. And they'll also learn about the oral interpretations of the Torah, the commentary of the Torah, Mishnah, and all those things. How basically we got all of this Bible, but how does it apply to real life? They'll learn that. They'll learn that. And then only the best of the best, very few, they'll go to the next level. Age 12, age 13, they'll go to Bet Midrash, the house of study. It's kind of cool, eh? House of book, house of learning, house of study. Okay? I like the house of food, but it's not there. Anyway. I wonder what's the Hebrew for that. Something. Okay, so the focus in Bet Midrash, very few, is to understand and apply the Torah in everyday life. Apply it. To become like the Torah. Very intense. To become, and they'll be able to teach as well. However, if they want to graduate from Bet Midrash will take you from 13 years old until all the way until 30 years old. Okay? Really? The longest actually. About 15 years. What they do, if you're at this level, if you go find a rabbi, rabbi don't find you. You find a teacher. The teacher don't find you. It's like one of those, kung fu movies. You go find the Shifu, right? You find Ip Man, right? Right, and Ip Man 1, Ip Man 2, and everybody's looking for him, right? And no, I don't think you go look for the students, but then he fights, and suddenly all the people want to study. It's the same. Those times, you find the rabbi, and you say, I want to study with you, I want to be like you. And then what happens? The rabbi, he will test you. He'll ask you questions. The point is not simply whether you know the Bible. The point is this. This is very important, very key knowledge. Very key insight in this cultural backdrop. When the rabbi asks you questions, basically he wants to know whether you can be like him. Okay? So it's not just a transfer of knowledge, but a transfer of life. Whether, let's say, Rabbi Dave went to Michael and asked Michael whether Michael can be like Dave in everything. Not just knowledge, but appearance, favorite food, everything in all areas of life. So you may have to shave your... Anyway. But see, the point is whether you can be like him. If you fail his questioning, he will say, okay, you go back to your family trade. Kalau gagal interviewnya, kamu pulang aja. Kamu udah lanjutin usaha keluarga, gitu. But for the very few cases, very rare, he will say, you're a good student. And this is what the rabbi will say. Come and follow. Mari ikutlah. So that's the context, you see. So this was a huge privilege that was offered to very few people. And you ask, but Jesus did not offer money or position. I know. Because for the Jewish people, the Torah is worth more than gold or silver. It's precious for them. That's why here, for example, in the Psalms it says, the law of your mouth is better to me than thousands of gold and silver pieces. Did you see, Jadi Bapak Ibu ngerti ya, pentingnya firman, pentingnya Taurat itu buat mereka, gitu loh. Itu berharga banget. Nah, buat kita biasa banget. Gitu. For us, it's just the word of God. No. It's the word of life. So when a rabbi comes to find you and says, come and follow me, that's a huge deal. It's never been done before. It's unique, you see. So here's the thing. Why did the disciples left immediately? What were they doing? They were fishing, right? They're mending the net. That means it is highly possible that they are the ones who did not make the cut in school. You see? They dropped out of school. Probably Peter, Andrew, John, and James, they did not make it to Bet Midrash. Pasti nggak ke Bet Midrash. Probably they just Bet Sever. Or maximum Bet Talmud. Okay? It's just, okay, that means they have settled, they have resigned themselves to the fact that they will probably never be able to become a disciple. Okay lah, I cannot do this, I'll just be a fisherman. Normal guys, nobody. And then suddenly Jesus came along and said, hey, come and follow me. That's like imagining Michael Jordan, saying to a junior high school student, hey, I see a potential in you, come, train with me. Unless you don't like basketball. But you see, that's what happened. You see, here we see my first point. Here we see, before we start at anything else, the grace of discipleship. The grace of discipleship. This is the God who initiates, the God who finds us, the God who comes to look for us. Ini Tuhan yang cari kita, Tuhan yang ambil inisiatif, and pay attention in verse 9. Follow me and I will make you. Aku yang jadikan kamu, gitu loh. I will make you. The active role is God's. And for our part is just to obey. Follow the process. We let Him lead. He is the one who takes the active role. He finds us, He accepts us where we are, and He is the one who is active. That's the grace of discipleship. After that, after we have understood His grace, now we are ready. Now what does it mean? What does it mean to be the disciple of Jesus? Obviously, it can be many things depending on the text. Now we'll just focus on the text itself, okay? The text is teaching us two important points. For what does it mean? Practically to follow Jesus. To become His disciple. Number one, Jesus said, follow me, right? That means, very simple, to become a disciple means to follow after Jesus. Now, the Greek literally says, come after me. Okay? Come after me. Let me give you an illustration. This is actually true. If you go to, in Jerusalem area, sometimes you can see a rabbi, okay? And behind him is some of his disciples. I have the story many times in many books. So, I'm sure, yeah, basically. So, when, let's say the rabbi has a limp. Gurunya kesleo. What is kesleo? Has a sprain, okay? Sprained his ankle. And then he'll walk like this, right? And what happens is, all his disciples will walk like this too. even if they're healthy, you see. That's coming after. That's the bond that they have. It's like, because they want to experience everything. And that's why, that very interesting, but sometimes people, I just realized this. When Jesus walked on water, Peter wanted to walk on water. Where did he get the idea, right? I don't think he was like, I want to walk on water. I think, let me practice some more, I don't think so. I don't think there's a class for that, There's not like House of Miracles, I don't think Peter has in his mind to be able to walk on water. I don't think that's his dream job, I'm the one who conquers the sea. No. But because he saw Jesus, you see? And that means this is what is probably going on in his mind. Okay, Jesus is my rabbi. He chose me. That means I can be like him. Therefore, I can walk on water, you see? So he stepped out, and he did walk on water, but he doubted himself. And so he drowned. So that's what's happening too. So the point is, to follow after Jesus is to follow wherever he goes, to look at life with the lens of Christ. It means everything becomes secondary in life to being like him. Let me repeat that. Everything becomes secondary in life to being like him. We don't tell him what to do, he tells us what to do. We don't judge him, he judges us. We rank our decisions through him. And we ask questions that normal people don't ask. We ask questions like, how does this make me more like Jesus? How does this decision glorify God? Normal people don't ask that questions, right? Normal people just ask, how does this benefit me? How does this help my family? That's it. How does this benefit my family? Okay, I'll choose this. Hopefully God will open. Hopefully God will okay. No. And then you put God in the end. God is just the omega, not the alpha, you see. But that means we ask questions like that. I remember, when I was younger, still young, struggling with, one of those questions about spouse. How do you know if this is the one, if it's the one, right? And every seminar, every preacher, every those camps, they'll say many things. He has to be like this, so iman, so ibang, right? He has to be one faith, equally yoked, and he has to come from, many things, and they're all good. But I want to say, if my answer for anybody who asks me these questions, kok tahu dari mana kalau dia dari Tuhan? How do I know if he's from God or she's from God? And this is what I can know. See, I don't know exactly, but I know one criteria that is foolproof, okay? That this person might be from God. Foolproof, simple. If after you spend time with him, whether as a friend or as boyfriend or girlfriend or as engaged couple, are you becoming like Christ or are you becoming like the devil? As simple as that, right? If ever since you are with him, you are walking towards the light, that means you are in the right direction. But if since you are with him or her, you are walking towards the darkness, bro, maybe not for you. Is it? Because I know for sure, if God is giving us someone alongside of us, I don't think He will give us someone who makes us away from Him. I like the song that we sang today, where you go, I'll go. That's basically follow Jesus, right? Where you go, I'll go. Where you stay, I'll stay. When you move, I'll move. I will follow you. This is the one that's very difficult. I was saying this. Who you love, I love. No. This is difficult, right? Yeah. This is difficult. Yeah. You love, I love. How you serve, I'll serve. See how it serves? Washing the disciples' feet. If this life I live, I will follow. Yeah. Let's follow Jesus. I like this part. I'm close with this quote. Alois, I don't know how to pronounce her last name, but she is a Bible scholar, Jewish Christian, I know. She said, none of us is so mature that we cannot be influenced. Tidak ada, kita tuh nggak bisa dewasa banget sampai kita nggak bisa dipengaruhi gitu. Kita selalu bisa dipengaruhi, katanya dia. The question is, who or what do we want to shape our lives? Because even the culture around us will try to disciple us if we have not placed ourselves under the transforming influence of Jesus Christ. So, to be disciple means to follow after Jesus, to ask questions about, to look at life based on His lens. Finally, second one, only takes 2 points. To follow Jesus means Jesus quickly added, follow me, and I will make you fishers of men. Fishers of men. And this is the purpose of discipleship. To join His mission. To make more disciples. Basically, to make more disciples. We don't just study and study and study, follow along Jesus, but we become a disciple who makes disciples. And that's the end goal. That's Matthew 28, right? Go to all nations and make disciples. Even if you look at Mark 3:14, he is similar. He appointed 12 that they might be with him. You see, together, right? Walk together. Where you go, I go. Where you stay, I stay. And that he might send them. You see, to preach, to connect with people, to disciples. Now, this has always been good to us, right? I mean, this idea of us being discipled by a mentor, we are investing our lives to other people. I mean, all of us needs this, right? Like a small group of people when we can invest our life and we can, share our pray for one another, and trust. Trust, you know? Imagine in a small group of people, the love, the wisdom, the comfort, the hope, you know? The idea of journeying in life together to become like Jesus. And that's if you ask me, hey, what's your favorite part of your job? I mean, my calling as a pastor. That's what I would say. My biggest joy, one of my biggest joy, is simply to walk with people and see them walk to be more and more like Christ. Especially if I'm privileged to see one from a baby all the way until grandma or grandpa. Wow, it'll be cool. You know? It'll be so cool to see the growth. But see, growth is not always quick, you know? It's not quick. You know, remember this, this building? The famous, what's this? Church in Spain, in Barcelona, right? Sagrada Familia. Right? It was built, the first stone, 1882. And it's finished 2026. And there's what do you call this? Asterisk. And it says, at least that's the goal. This is Time Magazine, okay? So, no joke, okay? No joke. That means, okay, for those who are good at math, how many years? Everybody's bad at math. 200, right? 244, eh? Yeah, almost close to 250, yeah? Yeah. When asked the original architect, 100? What 200? It's 1886. Must be 200, at least 204. 144. Okay, let's list the math problem behind. But the point is, this is 100 years old for. Okay. When asked the architect Gaudi, right, he's one of the up-and-coming architect, and he decided from the first moment, I'm going to build something that will outlast me. He said, okay. And he was saying, hey, why did the project took so long? The pious Gaudi was fond of saying this: my client is not in a hurry. Who's your client? Dios, God. Yeah, fine, Dios. He said, God is not in a hurry. See, church, my point of saying you this is, God is making all of us to be like a cathedral, like a church. And if you want a building as beautiful as that, it's going to take time. It's not going to be instant. It's not going to be quick. So I hope in your process of discipling people, or you're being a disciple, be patient with yourself and be patient with other people. Be patient and trust God. Be patient. Because He is building something bigger, more beautiful. And this is the heart of discipleship. The heart of discipleship is we follow after Jesus to make disciples. That's it. Simple. Finally, last one. You have seen the grace of discipleship, the heart of discipleship, and finally, the cost of discipleship. It is inevitable to see that is for to be disciples, right? Peter, Andrew, James, and John, they left everything, right? They left their nets, which means they abandoned. That's the weight of the Greek word. They abandoned their former life. It's like, remember when Elijah called Elisha? Right? When Elijah, prophet in the Old Testament, waktu Nabi Elia memanggil Elisa, yeah? Elisha, when he got called, he promptly sacrificed 12 pairs of oxen, burned his plow, and left everything to follow Elijah. He said goodbye to wealth, hope, family, even to his ability to make a living. The point, church, clearly, Elisha had not just acquired a few hobbies, you know. It's not like, hey, let me sign up for Jesus class. No. Hey, let me try the Jesus favorite food. No. You know, following after Jesus is a decisive action. It's not like signing up to try a new hobby. Because they left everything. It's a decisive action. I used to be this, but not anymore. There's a significant change. And what did they live? Here, at least in this story of the first disciples, they left their jobs and they left their family, right? And and those two are the ones that often hinder us from following Christ sometimes. Biasanya dua hal itu yang menjadi penghalang kita mengikuti Yesus. Pekerjaan dan berat yang ngomongnya keluarga. It's hard to say this, you know. Those two things are usually as heavy as this, you know, for me to say. Those two things, those very good things, our job and our family, sometimes are what holding us back to become like Christ. It's good things. Good things. But let's not forget our process of discipleship in favor of spending more time at the office. That's my point. Jangan sampai, kalau pakai bahasanya Pak Yakub, jangan sampai karena pekerjaan kita melupakan proses jadi murid Tuhan. Sebaliknya pekerjaan harus menjadi proses pemuritan. Conversely, what we should do is to make our job as our ministry. To see our job with His lens. Again, go back to the heart of discipleship, right? How we become like Jesus in our workplace, in the marketplace. And family as well, you know? Oftentimes family becomes a hindrance to our spiritual growth. I don't have to say it, but I've seen this many times here or in the US, that after somehow many people somehow begin to get farther and farther from the Lord after they have family and have kids. That's just sometimes a simple observation, right? Bukankah banyak orang mulai jauh dari Tuhan ketika sudah berkeluarga dan memiliki anak? Ouch. It's true. And it's difficult, I know. But here then we are reminded that ultimately we are reminded and challenged that discipleship towers above all. Ultimately, we must see and we must trust. You see, God is not in competition with the world, you know. God is not anti-job. God is not anti your family. The evidence is obvious, you know. Jesus, still, he wanted to heal. He did heal Peter's mother. There's one episode, right? His family is important. Job is important. But job and family without the privacy of Christ becomes dangerous for you and I. Job and family with the privacy of Christ becomes a blessing to us. Keluarga dan pekerjaan tanpa keutamaan Kristus menjadi bahaya buat hidup kita. Keluarga dan pekerjaan di dalam keutamaan Kristus menjadi berkat buat kita. God is showing a better way, church, by saying, leave everything. Not so that you can cut off your way of living or your relationship with your parents. No. I'm going to show you a better way. When I'm in the center of everything, everything becomes good, everything becomes beautiful. And let me close with this story. Maybe you've heard of the story before. If you've heard this, just nod along with me. One day in the farm, the chicken and the cow was excited because their farmer is having a birthday next week. So, the chicken and the cow, they wanted to surprise him by cooking him a breakfast. Jadi ayam sama sapi mau kasih kado buat peternaknya, gitu. Supaya senang, ya, kasih mereka memasak. So, the cow and the chicken said, "So, are you in? You wanna cook some breakfast for our lovely farmer, our lovely owner?" "Oh yeah, sure. I'm in. What will you do?" Okay. And so the chicken replied, "I will supply the eggs. You supply the meat." Time bomb. Different facing, right? Obviously the cow was, "Enak aja lu," right? The cow was like, "No. What do you mean I supply the meat? You supply the eggs? That means it's so easy for you, right? It's little sacrifice for you. For me, it's my life, man. I give up everything and you give up your eggs. I mean, you lay eggs every day." The simple story is a reminder to us, simple this. Jesus is not like the chicken. When Jesus asks, come and follow me, he's not sacrificing a little so that we sacrifice everything. Jesus is the cow, you see. Please don't context. Don't quote me, Jesus is cow. Very difficult now, social media age, Jesus is like the cow. Very important, Jesus is like the cow. He sacrificed everything. And he never asks us to do things that he has not done himself. He gave up everything. He left heaven. He go low. And on earth, he go even low. Wash the disciples' feet. Even lower, go to the cross. Even lower, die. Nobody has done sacrifice like him. And because of that, we can give our lives to him. Because he has done more than enough for us. So that we can be his disciples and change the world. Let's pray.